Hello friends. So in this lesson we will see how a mate is made with a queen and a king. So here, in order to understand this mate, first let's see how the final position will look like. So the mate can happen like this, or like this, or like this, or else like this. So this can happen in any of the corners, like this, like like this, or like this, or like this, or even like this. So the point to note here is in order to make the mate, there needs a king. White queen alone cannot make the mate. The white queen needs the help of the king, and also the black king needs to be at one of the corners. Only at the end of the board a mate can happen. In no other place a mate is possible. As far as we can see here, if a check is made like this, the king will always have squares to escape. So only in a position in which the king is at the corner, it won't have a square to escape. So the basic thing is we need to push the black king to the corners. So that's the basic concept to make the mate with a queen and a king. So let's see how it is done. Let's consider this position and the king is here. So as far as we have learned, we need to push the king to one of the corners. And here we can see these two corners are too near to the board. So this is too near to the king. So it's better to push the king to these two corners other than the other corners. So we have made a plan. We just want the king to be pushed to one of these two corners. So our first move will be this one. That is, in the mate with the queen, the basic thing is we need to form a wall, or else we need to form a cage around the king, just like this. So for now we have created a cage, and the concept is to form a cage and keep on shrinking it, keep on reducing the size of the cage, so that at last the king reaches the corner, the end of the board. So we can also point out this, but for now we'll just see this one, this cage, this small cage which we have made. Now it's black to play, so black will make this move. Now again we are just reducing the size of the cage, and the thing to note here is at no point we will make a check. We won't be making a check. We will just keep on forming a cage, a wall, because if you're making a check like this, the king escapes, and you can see now the cage has become bigger one. So it's like you want to push the king to this side now. So you are not making a check, you just want to form a cage, and we just keep on reducing the size of it. So if the king moves to this square now, again, so the cage size was like this previously, and we move the king and we just shrink it further. So now the king moves, and now you can see the king has already reached the corner. We wanted the king to be at one of the corners, and the king has at last reached that. So once the king is at the corner, just lock it there. Let the king stay there forever. So as far as we have locked the king there at the corners, that's it. The queen's duty there is done. Now it's just we need to bring the king. As we have seen, we didn't move the king until we push the black king to that side. So after we have pushed the black king to one of the corners, we just move the king and we bring it to the black king and we just make the mate. That's it. Okay, let's just watch it again with another example. So let's say the king is here. So you can see that already a wall is being formed. So the king moves here, just reduce the size of the wall. And let's say the king moves to this square, and you can see it has reached one of the corners, so just block it there. So the king moves, just bring your king. King moves, and it's a mate. Okay, so at last, one final position. Let's take an example where the king is already at the corner, at the end of the board. So here you can see the king is already at the end. So here what you can do is just lock the king at the end of the board, and when the king moves, just keep on bringing your white king, and at last we can just make a mate. So that's how the queen mate is made.